Assalamu alaikum. How are you all? Hope you all are fine and fit. Students, hope you remember that in our last session we saw Sindbad tied him to the huge bird's leg with his turban so that when it flew away from the island, it would carry him with it. So that he was carried out of sight of the island. Right, students? Let us continue the story then. This time I found myself surrounded on all sides by immense mountains that seemed to reach above the clouds. The sides of the valley looked so steep that there was no possibility of climbing them. When I began to look around the valley, I found that there were large diamonds lying on the ground. I was excited to find such riches lying around me. Then I saw something else that made me very frightened. All around the valley there were huge serpents, some of them big enough to even eat an elephant. These came out of their holes at nightfall. During the day, I suppose, they hide themselves from the rocks. I found a small cave where I decided to spend the night. At the entrance, I put a large stone to protect myself from the serpents, but the noise of their hissing outside made sleep impossible. I was glad that they went to their holes as daylight came on and I was able to out again. Okay, students, but I was still frightened. In fact, I found myself walking upon diamonds without a thought of their value. At last, uh, being very tired, students is like what Sindbad is trying to say is he found himself walking upon diamonds without a thought of their value. Okay, then at last, being very tired, I decided to eat a little of my food and then to have a short sleep in the sun. Then I was suddenly awakened by something which fell near me. I sat up and found that it was a huge piece of raw meat. At the same time, more pieces fell down from the rocks above the valley. I had heard stories in the past about this value of diamonds, but had not believed them. Now I saw with my own eyes what the local merchants did to obtain the jewels. They used huge eagles to carry up the diamonds for them. When the eagles have young ones in their nest among the rocks, they fly down into the valley to get food for them. So the merchants would throw down large pieces of raw meat. The diamonds stick to the meat and in this way get carried to the eagle's nest. Each merchant has his own nest and considers its jewels his. The idea came to me that I too could use these eagles. I myself could be lifted up from this deep valley and thus escape from it. The eagles were so big and strong that my weight would seem little. First, I I collected students here in whole lesson mentioned I is Sindbad. Okay, he is the narrator. He is the narrator of this story. Okay. First, I collected a number of large diamonds. These I put in my wallet and tied the wallet to my waist. Next, I tied one of the large pieces of meat to the middle of my back with my turban. I then lay down with my face to the ground and waited there. There was the sound of huge wings around me. Then I felt myself lifted up and carried to the top of the rocky walls of the valley. Then, soon I was in one of the nests. The merchants were surprised to see me there and When they heard my story, they helped me to find a ship to go home. When I got back to Baghdad, I was a very wealthy man. I gave large amounts of money to the poor and lived peacefully in my own home. Okay, students, this is the story of Sindbad the sailor. Okay, let's stop here. We will discuss more about this story in a live class. Till then, students, you continue your reading of whole story in your textbook. Okay, till then, thank you and Allah Hafiz.